Well, welcome to the MBU Football Coaches Show. My name is Guy Danhoff, and we're with Coach B. Coach, last week was homecoming, and let's just go straight to it because the atmosphere could not be any more electric. Spartan Nation showed up. It was one of the biggest crowds that we've ever had in program history. So let's just start there, obviously, just on the atmosphere alone.
Oh, it was a great atmosphere. It was exciting under the lights for the first time this year.
Yeah.
Like you said, a full house. There was standing room only. Spartan fans came out of it. It was a lot of fun.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun. I'll just tell you this. I could not believe the tailgate areas was busy. I know MBU alumni were very busy with all kinds of things going on. So it was just great from an atmosphere standpoint. So for all those who have been part of that plan, I just want to, seriously congratulate you all on that because it was pretty darn awesome. So with that, though, the only thing that wasn't so nice was obviously who you had to play. You took on number 13, Mid-American Nazarene, and let's just say I think we have a better idea of what that team's about, considering they ended up winning 58-21. And I know that from talking in the post-game show, definitely not the outcome you were expecting. Really, the game came down to turnovers. You guys had 4 that led to them getting 28 points. But as you got a chance to assess the film, what did you see in the film?
Well, I think it was less about who we played and the fact that they were number 13 and just about how we played.
Okay.
We didn't play up to the standard that we know we can. Obviously, we had the 4 turnovers, 2 off of the kickoff returns, and
right.
Unfortunately, they came at bad times. A turnover never is good.
Right.
I think a turnover on a kickoff return is always tough because of the field position that it gives. But
right.
That's just things that we've got to continue to get cleaned up. I think one of the things that we see is a lot of lack of maturity, and that's not necessarily, a knock on our guys. It's just
right.
that we have a lot of young guys that are
Yeah.
getting a lot of good minutes, and they're giving us everything they got. But being in those games for the first time, there's a
right.
lot of learning that comes out of that, and that's really where we're at. Is just knowing that when we're going to go compete against good football teams, and we have since day one, and whether it was Mid-States or whether it was Heart of America, we're going to play against good football teams, and just having that belief and trust in one another that we can go out and execute at a high level and we can play with anybody. Yeah. Obviously the score got away from us, and that was a little bit frustrating, but more so just the mistakes that we made and the little things, and just what I really want to emphasize with them is to really believe in themselves. It really starts between the ears,
right?
And less about actual execution. We need to execute at a higher level, but we didn't get necessarily bullied around. We didn't necessarily get pushed around. It happened here and there at times, but more so it's just taking the field with the confidence that we can go out and win that game.
Absolutely, but I want to give you some big time credit here, and it was really felt by the Spartan fans what you did right before half, because halftime score was 30-14. At 16-point deficit, we know that's a 2-score game now, and you're getting the ball to start the third quarter.
Yeah.
So we were feeling okay, we've got the fight. You scored 14 points in the second quarter. Now we're only down by 2 scores, and we get the ball. And then to your point, the untimeliness was on that ensuing kickoff. We fumble, lose, they score within a few plays, and then the next possession there was the Simpson interception, and then again they score, and that's when the game started to get away from you. But it just seemed like the fight, though, to come back in that second quarter when it seemed like it could have gotten out of hand then. And so, again, is that something you talk to your team about, the fight, the resilience?
Yeah, we talk about that all the time, right? We've talked about that in some of our comebacks, and even week 1 when we had a comeback but fell short.
Right.
We've talked a lot about persistence and what does it take to win, and all those things that we continue to harp on and will continue to harp on. And I think the biggest thing is when you're playing good teams, you're not going to drive down a score every time. There's
right.
going to be
right.
0-0 moments. If the offense and defense are doing what they're supposed to do, and it might be something like Saturday night where the offense was just kind of struggling, getting their feet wet and
right.
figuring out what exactly is going to work against what they were seeing. You have your game plan, but then sometimes you got to make in-game adjustments.
Right.
We did a great job of making in-game adjustments. We got some stops. We had some momentum. Unfortunately, like you said, I think we felt the same way at halftime.
Right.
Everybody in that locker room, hey,
Yeah.
we're back in it. We get
right.
the ball. We're going to go out and
Yeah.
put points on the board. And it didn't happen that way. We had the back-to-back turnovers, and that's really when it starts hurting morale, and it's tough to keep guys going. But there was no quit, and that's something that we evaluate a lot. Is are we giving up? Are we quitting? No, there wasn't any of that on the sideline. Guys continued to play hard, and it just got away from us, and that's something that we've got to continue to fix and work on. Like I said, the maturity and just being in those situations and how do we handle them, and that's all part of the learning process with a young football team.
So one thing that Kevin and I were talking about during the broadcast is, and it really didn't matter until really late in the fourth quarter, that team just never milked the clock whatsoever. I mean, it may have been the fastest team we've seen all season, where with the play clock, I mean, they're getting plays off in seems to be less than 15 seconds. Did that throw you guys off at all? I mean, they just seemed very aggressive.
No, it didn't throw us off, but I think that's from me on my standpoint, and I'm not criticizing Mid-America in any sense, that they're out to play a 60-minute game, and they're going to go play 60 minutes, and that's what we have to do as well. But, that's kind of one of the things I shared with the team is at some point you draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough, and we're going to go battle this thing, and to me, that has to happen a little sooner.
Yep.
We've got to take the field not just with the belief that we can do it, but when a team is out there, they're on your field, whether you're on your home or away, you got to go out there with this idea that this is a legal street fight, and it's going to be a street fight for 60 minutes, and there's a way to do it classy. There's a way to do it, where we're not running our mouth and getting dumb penalties, but the beauty of this game is between the whistles, you get to tighten your chin strap, bite down in your mouthpiece, and go dominate somebody. And that's what we've got to get. We've got to get to where when that ball is snapped on either side, that we're going to go and insert our dominance over that team, whoever it is, and not worry if there's a number in front of them or not. And that's where we've got to get to, and where something that we've really emphasized this week. I thought we've done it well throughout the course of this year. But I felt like there was a little dip over the last couple of weeks. So this week, we went back to it and basically found out who are the guys that are the tough guys on our team, and we're going to go out and play.
Well, here's the good news, Coach. The good news is you're not playing a ranked team for the rest of the season. You have 3 games left. It starts this Saturday.
The last one is.
Well, will be.
So we got 2 in a row.
Right, but you got 2 in a row. They're not ranked.
Yeah.
And so what's been the talk? What's been practice been like? I know you play 2 ranked teams. To be honest, I mean, we both said it statistically. They've got some good players. We played hard, but at the end of the day, there's a reason why they're a ranked team. And now, when you're looking forward to this Saturday at 1:00, and we're taking on Missouri Valley College, who's 3-4, what do you see from them?
Well, the biggest thing is they're going to come in and they're going to play tough. They're going to be physical, just like everybody else that we play.
Right.
But I think it's more about us. I think it comes back to, all right, can we get back to who we are and play confident? Are we going to play physical? And one of the things I tell them all the time is be the fastest, toughest, most disciplined team on the field.
Right.
And we've got to get back to that. There can't be any doubt. It's senior day, so we've got an opportunity to honor some great seniors.
Yep.
We need to send them out the right way. We need to get to 5 wins, which would be the most in program history.
Right.
We need to defend our home turf. And so really this whole week, if you ask the guys, I've been on a new level. I've been crazy. I've been, on them. Nothing's quite good enough, because we need to get back to who that is. And we're not going to allow a dip. We're not throwing in the towel because we lost 2 in a row.
Right.
We're gonna get back to where we need to be. And yesterday I went out on the field with a shirt on the front it said "I don't care," and on the back it said "Make a play." And that's kind of where we're at.
I love it.
I don't want any excuses. The
Right.
guys don't want any excuses. Right. Doesn't matter who we play. We're gonna go out and compete at our highest level.
Okay, so I take it anything new that shouldn't be installing in the game plan this week?
No, nothing new. I mean, it just comes down to us doing our job at the highest level, and like I said, being the toughest, most disciplined team on the field. And if we do that this week, we'll come out of there with a good win. We'll turn our attention to the next 2, but we've got to get back to who we are, not worry about what numbers in front of a team. And ultimately, we want to get to being that championship level,
right.
And it just starts with a mindset. It comes down to whether we're playing checkers, whether we're playing Yahtzee, it doesn't really matter, Candyland. That if we're going to do it, we want to win,
right.
And that's the type of mentality we've got to have.
Well, exactly. So with this week at 1:00, obviously you've got a great opportunity here for your last home game. And let's just let you, reflect a little bit. I didn't prepare you for this question. And I know that every recruiting class is always difficult when you have to see them go. But when you think of this particular year of seniors, the 2024 senior group or class, what comes to mind?
Well, we have some great players in there, right? Yeah, I mean, we're going to say goodbye to Raekwon Ramsey, who's had a tremendous career. We're going to say goodbye to Giovanni Sainz, who's had a tremendous career.
Yep.
Xavier Tipler has been a leader on the offensive line.
Yep.
Obviously, he's only been here 2 years, but Jordan Simpson has done some great things at quarterback. Christian Simmons is a guy who's been here for 5 years, hasn't played a ton, but it's obviously Coach grandson.
Right.
And, Christian was up here as an 8th grader, in our very one of our first years.
That's fun.
There's just a lot of special guys. It's not a really big class. We get a lot of guys back. But it's a class that has had a lot of production in the time that they were there. And so, I think the other thing is that they're doing something that hasn't been done. And that's what I want from them. When they came into this season, they said, we want to make history. We want to do something really special. And they've already done that with, getting 4 wins in a row, starting 4-1. But I want for them and for the program and for how they're going to leave it, their legacy, to get that 5th win, to get that 6th win, and ultimately what we're talking about is finishing 7-3, and that's a great opportunity. It's right there. It's their leadership that is getting us there.
Absolutely. I know. Every time I know that we'll do something after the season. We normally do get a chance to talk to your seniors that are parting. It's always fun to hear what they're going to do next.
Yeah.
And that I always love that part, especially when you hear some of your folks. I'm going to be orthodontist. Or I'm going to go be a professor, or I'm going to be a teacher, or like Bryson Barnes, I'm going to be, I'm going to go into coaching right away. I mean, it's just real exciting with what our players end up doing for the rest of their lives, and knowing that you and your coaching staff has had a huge impact on that.
Yeah, it's really special for us, and it's always an emotional day, and especially the guys, for all of them really, but the guys that have been here 3, 4, 5 years, you see how much growth they've had, and I think one of the things that gets missed, and we don't talk about it a lot in public, but there's guys in the senior class that the two of us, we've sat down at times and had some very heated head-to-head type discussions,
right.
And there's sometimes that we ultimately what we come out of there is collectively stronger. Our relationship is stronger. They make me better. I hope I make them better. And I've seen the growth of so many of those guys over their 4 or 5 years. It's been awesome.
Well, I can just echo that because with homecoming being last week, I was just pleasantly surprised by how many Spartan alum came back.
Yeah.
I know we had that special day a few weeks earlier for the 10-year anniversary, but it was just great seeing a lot of those Spartan players coming back and just really just being so proud that they've been part of this program.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great seeing those guys too.
Yeah. All right, Spartan fans, locking in right here for the last home game. We want that cannon to be blasting off.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. I walked past Johnny Heck, your offensive coordinator. I didn't realize he was the brain trust behind you getting it.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't paying attention, and all of a sudden he was testing it, and he shot it off right near me. And oh my gosh, my heart almost but I almost catch it. So that thing is loud. It doesn't look very big, but it is loud.
It is loud.
So hopefully it'll be blasting this Saturday at 1 o'clock as we take on Missouri Valley College. So for Coach B, I'm Guy Danhoff. I want to thank you for watching it all right here on the Spartan Digital Network.